So then that's where I contemplated suicide. Not contemplated, I actually tried. I was 12. I remember getting a knife, a big knife. It had to be big. And I remember trying to jab it in my stomach. I must wasn't doing it fast enough where you just got to be quick with it. That's so terrible. Um, but it was like it was too painful. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm sitting here just thinking of other ways to like go that's like less painful. So I'm like, okay, maybe pills, but I don't know what kind of pills. And back then we didn't really have, you know, electronics like we do today where I can just Google something. Like we did have a computer, dial up AT&T where you search it up, but I didn't think to search up how to kill yourself at 12. So since it was too painful to go through, I decided to just endure. But I didn't want to endure no more. It was just like, it was too much. Like constantly getting in trouble for something you don't do, constantly getting in trouble for other people's actions, constantly not being protected or respected. It was just too much. And again, I kept trying to beg my auntie. Man, I kept trying to beg her to adopt me. I'm like, I won't be no type of problem. Just take me. But eventually I didn't come up with any other ideas, so I decided to stay and just kept telling myself, well, I'm 12, I'm almost grown, I'm almost there, I'm almost, if I just keep on going, I'll be out. Like I'll be done with all of this. And so eventually that's basically what happened. I eventually stayed. Now here's where a few years later, basically, I'll say that in middle school, the end of middle school is where basically I was at a crossroad in my life where my life could have really went one way or another, and luckily I chose the other. But in middle school, that's when I had my first ever fight. And I ain't never fight nobody. Like I enjoy WWE, but all I did was like beat up my siblings. I was the oldest, okay? I'm the oldest. Or I'll beat up, my cousins or fight with my cousins. I can't say beat up because they was bigger and stronger, but listen, I put up a fight, okay? But I've never actually had a fight with a stranger or someone I didn't know. And so middle school came and I was never into bullies. People that tried to mess with other people for no reason, trying to just control them or just make them feel less than. That ain't never sat right with my spirit. And it was this one girl, it was two of them actually. And I just didn't like, I'm observant. I'm quiet. I tend to myself, mind my own business. Typically, I ain't really engage or talk to a lot of people like that. I had my peoples that I messed with. And it was these two girls, one black, one Hispanic. And I'm not going to lie, I did plan on beating both of them up at the end of the school year. This was like 8th grade. That was my plan originally because I'm sitting here watching them and it's like they were just really nasty and rude and ugly towards other people, especially quiet people. And I ain't really like that. They ain't never messed with me, but I'm sitting here watching them mess with other people and they not really standing up or doing nothing for themselves. And again, I ain't set right with my spirit. So I said by the end of the school year, I'm going to beat you up. That was my plan. But then one day I was in history class. I remember it. And we was supposed to all do a presentation, a group presentation by tables or whatever not. And I remember it was like a quiet table or whatever not. And one of the black girl, she was at another table and she was screaming at the quiet table like the teacher told her table to go. But she was telling like basically forcing the other table, the quiet table, to go. And eventually they did because they didn't want problems or conflict or beef, but it's like how she did it or how she was acting and talking to them. I personally did not like it. And so after that class, I remember taking off my earrings, taking off my jewelry, and I asked my friend to hold my items. And I went up to the girl. Don't judge me, y'all, okay? Don't judge me. I went up to the girl like, I heard you wanted to fight me. That was a lie. She ain't never say that. And she was like, no, I didn't or whatever not. And she said something else. Something like, why you so close to something? And I ended up like, that's when it started. Okay, let's just say that. That's when it started. That's when we began to fight. And it's like I wasn't mad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't upset or anything. It's just I felt like a lesson needed to be taught. And I was okay with dishing out lessons, honestly. And because I was planning on beating both her and her friend up at the same time at the end of the school anyway. So it was like, well, since you want to start some stuff with this one, it was specifically this one super quiet girl. And I'm like, since you want to start stuff with her or whatever, not, I ain't really like that. That rubs me the wrong way. I'm finna beat you up real quick so that you can maybe fix your tone and how you talk to people and address people or whatever not. Man, listen, that was my first fight. And I got expelled. And I was put in the criminal justice system at that. And so, listen, y'all, don't judge me. She did have to go to the hospital and get stitches or whatever now, but it's like, I thought it just happens, right? No, it don't happen. Because, I seen a lot of other people, they always get into fights, and they be back. I'm thinking the most I'm finna do is get suspended. Listen, I'm a good kid. I mind my business. I get good grades. Listen, okay? Listen, I don't bother nobody. So I'm thinking it's going to be a slap on the wrist, and I'm back at school. Listen, my mom was planning on doing the 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C. and all that. She had already put some money on it. Listen, I got to spell all that was gone out the window. And what I was forced to do, criminal justice, I had to go to court and all this. I don't remember, but I just remember not being supported. I remember not being fought for. I remember basically just being treated like a terrible kid or whatever not. They expelled me from all public schools. I had to do community service. I guess that's all that really happened that I remember. But it's like the way they made me feel was like I'm criminal, like I'm bad, like I'm deviant, like, like I was just like one of these other off kids, and I was not. Like, I'm cool peoples, okay? I thought I was just teaching a lesson, but again, the lesson was being taught to me, apparently. So I had to do all of that, and I'm not gonna lie, it changed my life because I enjoyed volunteering, actually. Like, I've never done something like that. Like, helping other people, that actually made me feel good. Being involved with other people, like even cleaning up the environment, going to sessions and like discussing things and whatever not. I enjoyed it. A lot of the other people, they didn't or whatever not, but I enjoyed it. It was something I really enjoyed doing. And I was happy I was introduced to that because it brought a little more meaning and purpose into my life, honestly. Because I remember being about 6 or 7, you know how they used to show them commercials with the kids, them hungry kids from Africa. I remember telling myself, like, I really want to help them. Not help them by giving them something, but like teaching them something where they can be self-dependent and not be in the situation that they're in right now and looking the way they looking. I always told myself that because I don't know.